Hi there, welcome back to Road Tutorials on Chapter 2, Basic Logic. So now you have your development environment. Let's get our hand dirty and start writing some road code in this chapter. In this chapter, you will learn some fundamental stuff with road variables, such as how to define a logic value, or initialize a V for your logic. You will also learn how to create an AND logic gate with 2 input and 1 output. So in the process of creating your logic gate, you will also learn how to use operator like assignment operator, how to use assign an input to an output, a logical operator, mathematical operators, and others. You also learn how to use non-synthesizable signal deposition, in this case put function, to send signals to your logic. And also you will learn how to define like constants, bus ranges, and how to use sigilings and access a range of bits from a bus. Let us look into the first part, which is the basic logic. Like any frameworks or programming language, road framework has its own data type. In this case, it's logic and logic value. Logic is fundamentals to creating signals. In system Verilog, we normally have like a logic to represent inputs, outputs, or even a wire, right? But in road, it's going to be the same. We're going to have logic to represent a signals, okay, or wire. Note that in Dart, variable names are typically written in camel case, such as a signal and this variable. You can notice that a, the first one, like a or this, in this variable, the a and the t, there is going to be the lower cases here. Yeah. And then the subsequent words like signals and each variable is going to have like uppercase for their first letter. Visit this page to learn more about that convention effective dance. Below, let us look on how to create a logic signals. So in the example below, we can see that creation of logic signals involve instantiate logic that can receive names and with an argument. So to create a logic, you have to instantiate a logic object. In this case, called logic. Yeah. So if you don't specify any name parameter like name or with, the logic will assume the name is going to be unnamed signal. It's going to randomly give you a name and a width of ones. Okay, we're going to look into that later, so don't worry. Okay, the next thing, if you want to specify a name or a width, like you can give it a name parameter. Yeah, so like in this case, we have a bus where the name is going to be B and the width is going to be A, right? And then we can just print a name signal. Okay, so let's write the code. Yeah. So open up your IDE where you started last time. This is where we left off in the last tutorials. So we just want to keep this import statement. We want to import a road dependency, and then we want to clear out the other things. We don't need that. Yeah. So let us just start with having a main entry point. In this case, I will just type main because I have that VS Code extension installed in my VS Code. So we have like autocomplete stuff. So I just type main and then just enter. It will give it something like a template for main entry point. Yeah, well, endings. Okay, so to create logic signals, we can just specify like what is the type of the variables. In this case, it's logic. So maybe I will just put the variable name called a and instantiate a logic in this case. After that, I want to print out what is a, right? So I just type on print statement in Dart and a. Yeah. So let's see what is output. Right? Okay, it's going to output a logic with a width of 1 and a name of S0. Because you don't specify any names, it's going to show you something like S0 is a just random name there. Yeah, so in this case, if you want to put a name, maybe I just put it like my logic A. Yeah, just make a name as my logic of A. Yeah. So I just give it a name, right? So we assume it's going to show a name. Yeah. Ta-da, it works. My logic of A. How about what if I want to make it a width of 8, let's say 8 bits. Okay, so I just put a width of 8. And then just run again. And yeah, so see, we change the width of the logic to 8. So this is how we create a logic, right? So now you have learned how we create a logic. The next thing about that is you don't really have to specify like what is the type that returns every time. We can actually use the keywords called final. It will automatically determines like what is this A. If you hover through it, it's going to show it logic A, right? Because you actually assign instantiate a logic already. So yeah, you can use final to speed up the whole process. Yeah. So when we click on run, yeah, so my logic A is going to be the same, right? Yeah. So in the next tutorials, I'm just going to show like finance or logic interchangeably. So don't be surprised if I do that. Alright, so there is an exercise. Try to create a 3-bit bar signals called 3-bit bars and print the output of the signals. Explain what you see. Is there enough information in the output to verify like you have created the correct signals? Yeah, so you can look at the answer here. Yeah, so this is all about road logic. Until then, happy coding!